Around the beginning of last April, my then boyfriend split up with me again for the last time. And usually what I would have done is jump back onto the dating sites for some sort of validation, or to know that I'm still desired or still attractive, or for whatever reason it had become a habit where I'd be in a very long-term relationship, and then as soon as the relationship ended, I would then go onto these dating sites to meet somebody else. The problem was that the types of people that I was meeting were quite similar in their characters. So I wanted to take this time to actually start discovering what it was that I was drawing in, because ultimately, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that there's one common denominator, and that was me. So energetically, I was drawing in these types of characters. So I wanted to take that time to find out exactly what it was in me that needed healing for me to draw in somebody very, very different. So I put myself on an 8-month Manban. Why 8 months? I don't know. I chose that figure out of my head, really. But I made a commitment to myself to stick to it. It wasn't oh, I might do this. It was, no, I'm doing this, whatever. And I specifically gave myself a date when it ended as well, in the beginning of December. So why did I do that? Because when I was in a relationship, I used to have long-term relationships, and in those relationships, I would try everything to make sure they worked, regardless of how the person treated me. So regardless of their actions, rather than knock that on the head, I would try everything, because I don't know, maybe it's my tenacious character where I didn't want to give up. So I wanted to try everything, absolutely everything, before I threw the towel in. So I wanted to find out exactly why I was doing that and what it was that needed healing in me. So I went on a journey for 8 months of just working on all things self-care, self-love, self-worth, self-inquiry, self-reflection, all of these things that could bring me the answers to the healing that obviously was needed in order for me to draw in a different type of personality. Now, when I say self-love and self-care, I don't mean having a bubble bath. I mean finding out how you want to be loved, because I don't think I actually knew how I wanted to be loved. I'd had this idea from obviously my upbringing of what love was, but it was a pretty dysfunctional idea from my upbringing. So that's the thing that I mean when I'm talking about self-love. Find out exactly what it is that you want to be loved. And then when you know it yourself, then not only can you give that to another person, but you can also know what to expect or what to allow into your life. Self-care. Self-care is, again, not about painting your toenails or things like that. Of course, those things make you feel nice. But self-care is about finding and rediscovering what it is that lights your soul, what it is that you find joy in. You know, I tried all these different things, like buying some roller skates and getting a blow-up paddle board and all of these sorts of things, so that I could really start to work out what it was that lights my soul, what it was that brings me joy. Because when you're focused on somebody else all the time, you kind of let yourself be the last one that you think about. And that for me is self-care. And then obviously we come to a biggie, which is self-worth. Now, self-worth was for me finding my boundaries, what was acceptable for me. So rather than having a boomerang boyfriend situation where they come back and they come back and they come back and they keep leaving all the time, and you accepting that, because that's what I'd experienced in the past, in my childhood growing up, was that's what I saw from my own parents. That was the parenting that I had. So for me, it was about finding my boundaries of what's acceptable for me, what I am going to allow, because people will treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. And then self-discovery, self-inquiry, and self-reflection as almost the umbrella over all of those things, so that you draw in something very, very different next time. Now, these are the things that I find or have found that are really important for me to actually figure out what it is that I really want, who it is that I really would love to share this journey with, and what I am willing to accept. I hope that helps.